Oh no, I'm muted. Oh my god, I almost did it. I almost hit the perfect intro with all my buttons and everything like that. But we did it. We had the old Sunday coffee intro, guys. Welcome back. It's been a while. It has been a while. Hop, thank you for all the biddies already, brother. Thank you so much, guys. Welcome back to Sunday Coffee, guys. I've been wanting to do this show for a long time, but you know what? My actual job got in the way, and by the time Sunday came around, after working 5 bartending shifts and streaming on my off days, it'd be like, you know what, I kind of want a break. Or I'd have work Sunday night, or I'd have work Sunday morning. I'd pick up a brunch shift because I wasn't getting that many shifts sometimes. So plenty of reasons. Some of them were excuses for sure, but you know what, today we no longer have an excuse. I do want to shout out Liz, because I'd said that I was going to do this like a week ago, and then I honestly forgot until she texted me last night like, hey, you still doing Sunday coffee? So you know what, I got off work at 1:30. I put together a bunch of headlines. I put together a bunch of clips. Not clips, I don't have any clips, sorry, but everything got pushed out of the way as I was just like scrolling on Twitter. I refreshed once, and boom, first things first, guys. Okay, let me see if we can do this together. First things first, President Joe Biden is stepping down from the campaign trail today. Let's read this together. My fellow Americans, over the past 3.5 years, we have made great progress as a nation. Today, America has the strongest economy in the world. We've made historic investments in rebuilding our nation, in lowering prescription drug costs for seniors, and in expanding affordable health care to a record number of Americans. We've provided critically needed care to million veterans exposed to toxic substances, passed the first gun safety law in 30 years, appointed the first African-American woman to the Supreme Court, and passed the most significant climate legislation in the history of the world. America has never been better positioned to lead the way. I know none of this could have been done without you, the American people. Together, we overcame a once-in-a-century pandemic and the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. We protected and preserved our democracy. And we've revitalized and strengthened our alliances around the world. It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as president. While it's been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and country for me to stand down and focus solely on fulfilling the duties as president for the remainder of my term. I will speak to the nation later this week in detail about my decision. For now, let me express my deepest gratitude of those who have worked so hard to see me re-elected. I want to thank Vice President Kamala Harris for being an extraordinary partner in all of this work, and let me express my heartfelt appreciation to the American people for the faith and trust you have placed in me. I believe today that I have always, and there is nothing American can't do. When we do it together, we just have to remember we are the United States of America. Now, I have my thoughts on President Biden. I'm sure everybody else does, and I'm not a political show, guys. I'm not a political show. I honestly was not going to do this, but you can't not talk about this because this is insane news. I feel like I was on SEN when January 6th was happening. It just happens when the streams cross like that. You have to talk about it. I don't know what's gonna happen next. I don't want to say this is scary, but this is very unprecedented for this late in the race when election day is 3.5 months away. for the president to drop out. I didn't think this was going to happen. I don't know. Like, I still think that Sleepy Joe is a better choice than the other candidate by a mile. Like, you know, people were sharing that Game of Thrones meme where it was like Viserys Targaryen versus Joffrey, who's your choice? And it's like, I don't know, Viserys Targaryen ruled over like a peaceful reign her entire like kingdom and only wanted his family to get along. Meanwhile, Joffrey's a crazy sociopath that, you know, beat sex workers and beheaded people, everyone he didn't like. So I don't know if there's much of a choice there. It seems pretty easy, but you know what? I digress. I don't really want to focus too much on this topic because it literally just happened. This tweet is 16 minutes old, but I really don't know. I don't know what's going to happen now, and I know I'm just repeating myself because, again, it was 10:55 when this happened. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if that means does Kamala run? Do they find someone else? Like, because I know like 99% sure that Gavin Newsom is going to run in 2028. It seems like, you know, he's really kind of ramping himself up with everything he's doing in California to run in 2028. So I don't think he's going to step in because he doesn't want like a, you know, a truncated, shortened campaign or anything like that. He wants like the full, like, let's go and get everything going. But I don't know. I don't know what this means. And it's pretty crazy. But it'd be nice as a millennial to stop living through historic events, you know, every once in a while. If we could just like not experience just everything before I turn 40, that'd be cool. If I could, like, you know, have a stable economy by the time I'm an adult. Oh, nope. Just like the most historic, you know, terrorist attack. Nope, you get that too. Oh, a global pandemic? Absolutely. And now, you know, this after, I don't know what I can say on TikTok, but after what happened with Trump and his ear, just like a normal couple years. Exactly, Joe. A normal couple years. By the way, guys, if you have any topics, if you have any questions, streamlabs.com right there. The link should be in my bio. If you guys want to send in or just support, I'd really appreciate it. But you know what? Let's get to some fun news, guys. Let's get to some fun news. Let's go back here. We're going to talk about the Acolyte. You know, that's way more fun, right, guys? That's way more fun. Hey, what are you doing? Why is that there? There. Oh no, I got a cat yelling at me now because I'm not playing with a string. Alright, let's talk about the Acolyte, guys. If you guys didn't know, the Acolyte was a pretty controversial Star Wars show. If you guys didn't know, I don't know if you guys have heard about this. I don't know if you guys have you guys heard about this? Have you guys seen about this? The Acolyte was a pretty controversial Star Wars show that just ended. And spoilers, we're going to do spoilers for the Acolyte, guys. If you guys haven't caught up, that's totally okay. But for everybody else, we are going to do spoilers right now. The Acolyte ends with May and Kamir basically as student master or student master slash lover. And that was a big thing that they cut, is that, I'm just, quote, this is from, it doesn't say who it's from. Oh, Manny Jacinto. I'm just going to put it out there. There was a version that we filmed where Osha and the stranger actually kiss, but we felt that it may have not been too earned at the moment. I think it was just too early on. The stranger killed a bunch of her friends. She just killed her father-like figure. And for them to have this sensual moment just didn't feel like it was appropriate. It's just on the cutting room floor. End quote. I mean, how are you going to have you guys holding hands as seen in this photo? As seen in this photo here. But a kiss is too far? I don't know, man. I've already seen some moaning in the cave memes from, what's his name? Plagueis' perspective, where he's just like, who's clapping? Like those things. I've already seen those memes, so I don't know. The series aside, you guys can check out my YouTube video about the final 2 episodes. I did like a full kind of like 15-minute review full of spoilers of the last few episodes. But I think a kiss would have been good, honestly. I think a kiss would have been good. I always like a good romance. And granted, I don't know if this would have counted as a good romance or a bad one or a forced one or whatever you call it. But if you're gonna do that, then do it. Don't half-ass it. Don't, oh, can you imagine? But it's just like, I don't know. Just do it. It's okay. We can handle a kiss. Everyone was thirsting over Manny Jacinto anyways. So just give the people what they want. He's sleeveless on a beach. Give us a kiss. Give us a kiss, please. I don't know. There was so much that was kind of missed out in this show of The Acolyte, where, everything, the pacing was off. Everything seemed rushed at the end, while it was way too slow at the beginning. It just was so poorly paced, and I don't want to hark too much on that, but it was definitely poorly paced. And then you finally get to the end where you have so much happen in the finale. Like we said, friends die, Soul dies, all these things. Give us this romance to hold on to. Because you do have people that are on Osha's side, that are on Kamir's side, because Kamir is obviously the student of the bald Jedi with the whip lightsaber. So you can build empathy with these characters, something you kind of failed to do in the season. But you can give them each other. You can be like, oh, next season if one of them dies or whatever. You're like, oh man, I wasn't a big fan of that, but I really loved them together. They were such a good couple. It's such an easy, fill in the blank spot here, color inside the lines with this romance. It's like, okay, just do this. And then we have them together and we can be like, hey, maybe these aren't the best well-written characters, but I really love them together. They're Manny Jacinto's hot. Amanda Stenberg is crazy gorgeous. Just something. I'm trying to give you something of a reason for why people want to latch onto these characters and come back for a season 2. Because right now, there's just not much. I thought the Darth Plagueis, cameo was interesting, but I don't know how many people knew that was him. I know that info got out pretty fast, but it's I'm so in that bubble that I'm just like, oh, that's Darth Plagueis, huh? So I wonder, how, if my roommate watched this, would he know? I don't know. I don't know if he would know. I really highly doubt it. So give us another reason to come back for season 2. Even if it's just them leaning in, holding hands with a lightsaber, sure. But leaning in for a kiss, give us a tease or something like that. That would have been nice. I don't know. It just something. Give me something. I need a reason to come back. But next up, guys, we've got Jurassic World. Jurassic World, it's got a new title. There's a new sequel coming out starring Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali. I can't even imagine what these paychecks are if they are getting these actors. I cannot imagine what these paychecks are if they are getting this caliber of actor this late in the game. This must be... maybe they're not even giving them a paycheck. Maybe they're just we're going to buy you a house wherever you want. And you'll never have to pay mortgage, landscaping, utilities. I think that would probably be in my contract of just you know what? Buy me a house. I'm going to pick a plot on the planet. You're going to buy me a house. You're going to take care of all the paperwork. You're going to, do everything there.
Golden chips with a nice piece of fried fish.
Anyone else in the mood to do a Bonnie Hunt movie marathon? Put on those Cars movies, baby. Let's go. PC, thank you so much for the $10 tip. Yeah, I was driving on my way to work, and I was like, I think I said Bonnie Hunt, not Helen Hunt. And so, yeah. But my Twisters review is on YouTube right now, guys, if you guys want to go watch it. Everything else I say in the review is good, but I definitely do call Helen Hunt Bonnie Hunt. It's tough. It's tough. But going back to Jurassic World, we've got a new title. And it's called Jurassic World Rebirth. The only thing... Gunner, there you go, dab. The only thing that... I do like Scarjo. I do like Mahershala. And I like Gareth Edwards. So you know what? I'm going to focus on the positives. If you guys know me, you know, to put it lightly, I am not a fan of these films. And to put it not lightly, I despise these abhorrent things. These are very bad movies, in my opinion. Did they make all the money? Yes, they did. So why would you stop making them? I get it. I get it. I know why there's another one coming out. Even Dominion, which wasn't even about dinosaurs, it was about locusts, big giant locusts. When you find, after 2 movies, your third movie, we're finally in Jurassic World. We got there. We see, you know, Allosauruses, like, biting people off scooters. We see Chris Pratt wrangling, you know, I used to know these names, but we see Chris Pratt wrangling, oh, my cat's going crazy, a dinosaur on horseback. Blue is out there with her baby, like, running around in the wilderness. We finally got Jurassic World. We're going to focus on locusts? Okay. Okay. We're going to... Oh, okay. I guess. It was the weirdest thing. I couldn't believe it. But here we go. I don't know. There's no plot yet, but I do like Gareth Edwards. I like that a lot. He's a really, really good director. I like the cast. The title is really stupid. I don't know what... I'm assuming dinosaurs are still around, like, on the Earth, because I think that's where we left off, where they were just, like, chilling everywhere, and Blue was reunited with her little baby raptor. So we'll see what happens. I don't know, man. It's not something I'm looking forward to, but the fact that they just keep churning these things out... Okay, they keep making money, so I can't blame them. I like the director at the helm. They really tried, like, with controversy, saying, "Oh, you know, we made a live action replica of the whatever Megalopolis Asaurus with this last one." It's like, oh, he's like the. That was my favorite thing. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Colin Trevorrow did in an interview say that the newest dinosaur from the last movie was like the Joker. They just want to watch the world burn. About a dinosaur. That was something that was said by a human being. So yeah, you know, that's the movie we're gonna get. You know, maybe it's gonna follow. Maybe we're gonna get, you know, the dinosaur Irishman, because we already got the Joker that was copying Martin Scorsese movies. So maybe we'll get like the dinosaur Irishman, or, you know, The Departed or something like that. It's very, you know, an undercover. Yeah, we're gonna deal with Blue, who has to go undercover into the Velociraptor drug ring. And then, like, they're dealing with, like, identity crisis, and they've been undercover too long. We've got it. Gareth Edwards, call me. You know, I know you're probably in the middle of shooting a script, but we can do some reshoots. You're used to that. Let's do some reshoots, okay? Call me. We got things to plan here. Okay. Next up, I don't know. I'm trying to be positive, but it's tough. It's tough to be positive about Jurassic World these days. The Boys finale just aired, guys. So spoilers for The Boys finale. If you guys haven't caught up with season 4 of The Boys, spoiler warning right now. We've got some news. Eric Kripke, the showrunner, is quoted in saying, "You know, I think the finale season 4 really goes to show you that we've been planning 5 years all along, because there's no way a show goes one more season after the events of that finale. As far as we're concerned, it's our show's version of the apocalypse. So spoilers ahead, guys. Homelander gets everything he has wanted from the beginning, which is to completely remake the United States in his image and according to his whims. The boys are at their lowest point. Most of them are captured, and we worry for their future. I always look at it as, of the 5 seasons, we're kind of at that point. That's sort of the end of the second act of a movie where everyone's really at their low point and they face their own personal demons. Now they need to really come together in the 5th season and save the world. Blue, Barbie, clever girl. Absolutely. Done and done. You nailed it, PC. Let's get in the writer's room right now and get this think tank going. So, I think this season of The Boys was a little bit of a step back in terms of like quality, in terms of plot progression, and it seems to be for a reason. And I know I'm not saying like, oh, it was bad on purpose, but I'm saying they were kind of like, we know where this is going, but we need to make an entire season out of it. When, you know, I feel like I reference anime a bit too much, but how Demon Slayer did, it's called the Mugen Train arc, where it's like a really small arc, and like it's very action-packed, but not a lot of chapters, so they just did a movie about it rather than 12 episodes. And I feel like this could have been a boys movie, where, you know, they go after the vice president, heads get popped, things happen, but a lot of it was really just like, oh, did you see this super gross thing? Oh, we've got sheep that are injected with V, and they're gonna eat somebody. And it's like, okay, this is fun, I guess, but what are we doing here? But I will say the finale was very good. The finale actually gave us some character stuff. The finale gave us some plot progression. And so it seemed like they knew where they were going, but they were like, okay, how do we do this for 8 episodes? And it sucks that, you know, I feel like this has been a big complaint recently where, you know, the CW was churning out 22 episodes of The Flash every single year, but we're getting 8 episodes every 2 years with these new shows. And Stranger Things tweeted out the other day, I was going to do this as a thing, but it was basically just to complain, so I'll just throw it in here, that they tweeted out a few days ago like, oh, we're halfway done with the final season, and it's like 10 years for 42 episodes. Like, that's a lot, man. I know we had a strike, I know we had COVID, so, you know, we'll say 8 years for 42 episodes. I'll knock off 2 years for you. 7 years for 42 episodes. I'll give you 3 years. That's still insane. So I realize, obviously, like, you know, writers, VFX artists, there's a lot that goes into these shows. But it's like, when you look at some of the episodes of The Boys, it's pretty skeleton crew out there. Like, they're on a farm and they're running away from CGI sheep. I don't know, man. The sheep don't look that great, by the way. But this was definitely a come down from season 3, which I think was really strongly peak television, especially with the introduction of Soldier Boy, played by the guy from Supernatural. I had his name, but I lost it. But this season, definitely with the finale, is definitely ramping up for, you know, the big 5th season, and that's good. Jensen Ackles, thank you, Liz, appreciate that. Because I made a point on TikTok the other day where I was saying, like, there's a character called the Deep, and in the first episode of The Boys, he assaults the main character Starlight in a really terrible, like, just horrendous scene. And then he gets in trouble for it, but he's still like the comedic relief because he's really stupid. So like he goes through a bunch of stuff. He goes to like a Christian, like, you know, rehabilitation center, and then he starts like having sex with an octopus because, you know, that's like the joke about Aquaman. And so there's like all these things where like they're trying to be like, oh yeah, he did something bad, but he's really dumb and he's really funny. Do you guys like that? And a lot of people do. And in this last season, there's a moment where, like, spoilers, again, big spoilers for The Boys. He has an octopus girlfriend that's voiced by Tilda Swinton. Just amazing sentence I just said. And he kills her. And then he goes up to Homelander and he's like, I will do anything you want. I will unalive. Sorry, I'm on TikTok. I will unalive anybody you want. Just tell me where to go. And then when he confronts Starlight, he like gives her the most like alt-right incel Andrew Tate speech ever. Is like, you tried to cancel me. You know, I don't accept your truth. Like, I don't think you're a victim, even though like he knows exactly what he did. And then they fight, and she has a chance to end it right there, and she doesn't. And then they just go back to him being like, "Oh, bro." It's like, no, like that was what we call a character arc, whole character arc of like, you think he might be redeemed, you think he might be like just this dumb idiot, or I don't know what they were doing, but that was like his arc right there. And then you just like left him in the show. And so that was like a big problem for the season, is that it felt like they were too scared to knock off any like main character soups. And so it seemed like they were kind of spinning their wheels with what they were doing with like all the main characters. So I don't know if, you know, a soup is going to be knocked off every other episode in season 5 in this final season. But I am glad that this season 5 is the final season. I'm glad that it seems like they know what their limits are and they're going to follow them. Maybe we'll get more, you know, Gen V. I didn't watch that show, but I saw that the characters made like a little cameo appearance, and maybe they'll be a bigger part of the season 5. But I think Gen V you could do like with maybe like a new cast, like an anthology series or something like that. But I'm glad that they're just ending this show, because it seems like, not that they're running out of material, but that the story is completing. Breaking Bad did the same thing, where they're just like, the story is completing, so we need to complete the story. Walking Dead is making the mistake of like, no, we're never going to end. Walking Dead is over, but we get this Rick story, and we're going to have Rick movies, and we're going to have a Daryl show, and we're going to have a Maggie show, and we're going to have a Negan show. Like, there's going to be a show there's a Carol show coming out. It's like, okay, we don't need all these things. I'm not a huge comic guy, but I do have all the Walking Dead comics. The comics end so perfectly and so beautifully. It's just like, I'm happy for all the cast and crew that continually get a paycheck. Hollywood is the most uncertain game you can have, so congrats to all those guys. But after a while, you just gotta end. You just gotta end the show. And I'm very glad that The Boys is gonna be ending the show at season 5. Alright, next up is a fun story that I have mentioned every time in the last... I saw Twisters... Friday. It's Sunday. Sorry, I was about to say yesterday, but today is Sunday. I saw Twisters Friday. I have told this story at least 5 times in 2 days. Now, Glenn Powell is the guy right now. He is the guy. You know, earlier in the year, it was Timothy Chalamet was the guy after, you know, Long Live the Warriors. Like, Lisan Al-Gaib, okay? But you know who's Lisan Al-Gaib right now? It's Glenn Powell. And it's for this scene alone, right here. I'm telling you. Guys, now if you guys haven't seen Twisters, I strongly recommend it. Watch my review on YouTube. It's a great summer blockbuster. It's a grand summer time. You will absolutely enjoy your time at the movie theaters with Twisters. Go see it in IMAX, go see it in Dolby, whatever premium screen you want to see it. I'm sure 4DX would be absolutely insane for Twisters. I feel like 4DX is made for Twisters. But you go for this scene as well. You go for Glenn Powell walking in the rain in a white t-shirt that just, you know, does it happen to get wet? It happens to get wet. And guys, when I tell you that people started applauding when this scene happened, clapping in the theater for a man walking through the rain in a wet t-shirt, that is power right there. That is absolute power right there for the audience to just erupt into applause at this moment. Lee Isaac Chung, the director of the movie, was quoted, "You know, I tried to reduce that scene. I trimmed it down, and my editor at one point said, 'You're about to face a mutiny in this editing office. You have been requested to please restore the full length of that shot or else there will be a mutiny.'" Guys, the editor of the movie said the entire team said, "You better not cut any of this." Like, I don't know if there's going to be a director's cut of Twisters, but if there is, this scene is going to be just like on a loop somehow. Like, somehow his truck is going to be half a mile down the road now and not in the driveway. It's insane. Like, I don't really have much to add to this story, but like, I'm so glad that I wasn't alone in seeing this reaction. That literally the director of the movie was told that you cannot take a single second out of this scene because it is necessary to the plot. And it's true. It's absolutely true. And you know what? Everybody was clapping. The men, the women, everybody was clapping in the theater. It was great. That's when you know you have a great summer movie, is when these things of like a man walking in a wet t-shirt is getting applause from the audience. That's good stuff. That is really good stuff. I really appreciate that. The Dodge Rams in this PC, like, Dodge sales are going to go through the roof. I wanted to buy a Dodge Ram after this movie. I live in LA. I'm not driving into a Twister and drilling into the ground. I don't farm. I don't need a truck. I was about to go buy a Hemi. What is that? Is that what they called? A Hemi? I was about to go buy a Dodge Ram Hemi after this movie. It was so convincing. I was about it, man. I was about to become a tornado wrangler right then and there. I need a big belt buckle. I need a cowboy hat. I need a terrain, and I need a white t-shirt. I don't need any of those things because no one's gonna applaud when I do these things. But like, this is the easiest ad campaign. Like, remember we saw that in the Godzilla. Let me see if I can bring it up real quick. Godzilla vs Kong Empire car ad. Like, just see if I can, like this. Let me see if I can move this over here real quick. This thing right here, guys, when they just like blatantly showed the Volkswagen. That's not how you do it. This is how you do it. You get Glenn Powell to drive around in your Dodge pickup. You make it look beat up, and then you have, you know, all the science geeks, like all the, you know, the super rich team in their nice Dodge pickups that are all pristine and white. You get both angles, baby. Come on, this is ad stuff 101. Don't literally just show me a car commercial in a movie. Because that's just bad business. That's just bad business, and we can do better than that. All right. Moving away from movie news, we're going to talk a little sports because the Olympics are coming up, and God damn it, we're American, okay? We are American. The WNBA All-Star Game was played last night, and the reason I bring this up is because there's been a lot of speculation if the rookies, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, weren't selected to the team, even though they are easily the most popular players, like, in women's basketball, and quite possibly in the world, right? Or in the U.S. I don't know how much women's basketball translates overseas, but I will say in the United States, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are two of the most well-known athletes on the planet right now. And you know, Angel Reese just like set the record for like double doubles in a row for the WNBA. Caitlin Clark is easily on her path to become Rookie of the Year. So there's plenty of juice behind these two women that are absolutely balling it up. Took college by storm, and now they're, you know, in the WNBA doing the exact same thing. And they were left off Team USA, but they were announced to the All-Star Game. And in the All-Star Game for the women, the WNBA All-Stars played the Olympic team. And guess who won last night? What was the final score? 117-109. The WNBA All-Stars beat the Olympic team. Caitlin Clark had 10 assists. Angel Reese had a double-double. And forgive me if I'm pronouncing this name wrong. Arike Agunbawale, pardon me. I'm just going to be calling her Arike from now on because I do not want to butcher that last name. She absolutely balled out with 34 points in the second half for the WNBA All-Star team. And you know what? At one point, they were up by like 15 or 17 points. And then the Team USA kind of came back there at the end. But that's not good. That's not good for Team USA getting beaten by the non-Olympic team. But I love it. I love the drama of this because you've been having people talk about Caitlin Clark kind of getting shunned by the WNBA, like, oh, she got to pay her dues. And like, what was it? Colin Coward made a really good line the other day where it was like, she's got to pay her dues, but she's paying the tab already because Caitlin Clark is so popular that, you know, the jerseys are selling, the arenas are selling out, they're getting private flights now. So like, you know, a rising tide raises all boats. And I don't know why a lot of the time the WNBA doesn't see that. And so I understand that, yeah, we are there to win gold. We are there in Team USA to win gold. You know what our closest game was last year? We won by 15 in the gold medal game. So even if you put Caitlin Clark on the team and just give her garbage minutes, she's going to get plenty of garbage minutes because we're absolutely dominating everybody overseas. It's not like the rest of the world hasn't caught up in women's basketball the way the rest of the world has caught up in men's basketball yet. You know, I'm going to talk about the men's Olympic team next, and there's plenty to talk about there as well of how the men, you know, had a little bit of a scare the other night. They had a little bit of a scare. So the women's basketball isn't there. We dominate still the USA in women's basketball. So I think that Caitlin Clark should have been on the team. I think Angel Reese should have been on the team. But it's just like, I understand why they're not, but you know, at the end of the day, we are in a business. You know, it's so, because people always say that about like Hollywood and other things, like, oh, this is a business. This isn't like, I know we have sports and stuff, but this is a business. Yeah, well, so is women's basketball, and we're here for ratings, and we're here for sponsorships, and we're here for contracts, baby. And Caitlin Clark brings in all of those things at a big, big number. So I thought it was just, I'm very excited for the Monday kind of rundown of all my sports shows to listen to everybody talk about this, because are there going to be bad takes? Yes. Are there going to be good takes? Yes. But they're all going to be takes, and I love a good take. I want to hear these takes. Am I going to agree with all of them? No. Should you agree with all of them? That'd be weird if you agreed with every single take. But I think it's interesting at the very least. I think it's at least interesting just to be like, you know what? What is it about this? Why are we here? What led us to this point? And the final one, we're going to talk about men's basketball. My final headline of the day, unless you guys send in some questions. Men's basketball had a little bit of a scare last night. Or yesterday. It was during the afternoon. They played South Sudan. We were a 40-point favorite. And at one point, we trailed by 16 points and needed a last-minute LeBron layup to win the game 101-100. And this is what I'm talking about, is that the world has caught up to us in basketball for a majority of the time. Like, you look at Team Canada. They have a bunch of NBA players on their team. You look at Serbia. You look at France. You look at, you know, Spain a few years ago was like our main competition. But we're still the dominant force in basketball. But I do love that the rest of the world has caught up. Like, that some of the best, the dream team would absolutely get not smoked, but they would be challenged. PC, like, it's the fantasy world that boomers live in. That the dream team didn't have the rest of the world at us. Like, they were playing plumbers in the Olympics. Have David Robinson go up against Jokic. Have Larry Bird play Giannis Antetokounmpo. Have Michael Jordan guard Luka. Okay. do it. I really want, like, we never get to see it because we don't live in that world, but they would be challenged. And also, a 40-year-old LeBron is being compared to a 28-year-old Michael Jordan. I mean, I think that should end the GOAT discussion. Does it not? Or are we only comparing, LeBron at every single stage of his life? Is he going to be like 75 years old? Oh, yeah, David Robinson. Yeah, sure. David Robinson, sure. Someone banned PC for, like, I don't know, life for some reason. I don't know. But I'm so excited for these Olympics because this is the closest the world has ever been to Team USA in basketball. There are a lot of good challengers out there. There's a lot of reason to like tune in. Even in the Redeem team in 2008, we were blowing everybody out of the water, and then it was like one close game with Spain in the gold medal games. And same with like 2012. I don't remember much about, was 2016 Rio? I don't think there was any close games there. And then in Tokyo, I think there was like one close game against France in the finals. And so it's like the world has just gotten closer and closer and closer to us, even though we still do have the best players in the world. America still does produce the best players in the world, but the world is just getting closer, and I love that. I love competition, and I wish the NBA would adopt the FIBA rules of basketball, because they get to play, man. There's no more like, you know, oh, I'm going to pump fake you and dive into you for a foul and an and one. Like, there's none of that. They let the guys play in there, and I love it. Like, on the final 3 possessions, there's at least 3 NBA fouls that would have been called on both teams, and none of them got called. They let them play, and I absolutely love seeing it. But we beat, who do we beat? We crushed Serbia. We beat Canada by double digits. We played one other game, right? Australia, we beat. We were up by 20, then we let them come back. That was embarrassing. But we had a really good showing for the exhibition, and now it's time to kick off the training wheels, like start our absolutely dominant starting 5 and get this gold. And we start at the top with Joe Biden. I have so many like grievances with this country, as I'm sure everybody else in chat does. But when it comes to the Olympics, when it comes to America overseas playing for gold in sports, I'm #1 patriot, baby. I'm Captain America. Let's go. Like, that's all I care about. I just want gold. I hate every country that's not America. Like, I enjoy seeing every single non-American cry as they don't win the gold medal, or, you know, like the favorite gets beat for the bronze or something. Like, just anything. Everything American in the Olympics is what I want to see. And that's all I care about. Can't wait. I cannot wait. But you know what, guys? That's it for Sunday Coffee. I don't know if I went through I think it's a pretty good episode. 40 minutes, nice and lean right there. You guys get to come in and come out and then get out of here. I might be back on later today to play some Fortnite for a quick, 1-hour stream, but we will see. But thank you guys so much for joining me. PC, thank you for the huge donation. I really appreciate that, bud. I know this was kind of last minute. I'll try and do like a little more prep time for it. But if you guys want to ever send in questions, if you guys ever want to add anything, you guys can put it in the Discord. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I set up everything last minute. Again, shout out to Liz for reminding me, because I definitely would have forgotten. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Thank you for all the follows and likes on TikTok, y'all. I know this was, not me playing Fortnite, but it was me doing a little chatting episode. But thank you so much. Good spelling of accept there, PC. Keep it up. You're doing great, kiddo. Appreciate it. Alrighty, guys. Have a good day. I might see you like in an hour or two, just like another quick hour-long stream to play some games. But other than that, have a good night, y'all. Bye-bye.